Tomorrow we debut a new segment, calling it Special Report One-on-One. It's basically a candidate's corner. The guests for our opening night, Republican presidential hopefuls Christie and Vivek Ramaswamy, in-depth conversations on the issues that Americans want to talk about. It'll be interesting conversations indeed, and that's tomorrow night, 6 p.m. Eastern Time.
Hey there, guys. Welcome to the channel. So first, I have to give a disclaimer. I am going to talk about that last unmitigated disaster of a GOP second debate. Not because I want to, and not because it was good, but because, guys, the RNC, they seem to be pulling some total DNC type moves. For whatever reason, they think that these tired old gangbang format debates are still working. I don't know if they ever worked, but they're trying to protect them and control how these candidates can actually talk to you and me and get their message out to us. And I want to, I want you to think of something just for a moment. I'm sure most of you guys are just like me and you're really political junkies, right? Otherwise, we probably wouldn't be watching this, probably wouldn't be making these videos. But put yourselves in the shoes of an average, not as informed independent. And imagine you just tuned into that disaster of a debate. And now you're watching what appears to look like a Republican civil war in the House of Representatives. It's not a good look, optics-wise. And here's the thing, man. Even the Republican voters, we don't watch this stuff anymore. The ratings dropped from debate 1 to debate 2, 25%. How crazy is that? And honestly, I think the reason is that these giant group formats, they just don't accomplish anything, man. A smaller format where just a few people actually get to talk about policy just makes sense. Come on. This is just a reminder of what these things actually look and sound like, if you didn't see.
It's not the fault of anybody.
Some of us are paid excuse or not.
Thank you for speaking while I'm interrupting.
Yeah, so what that is, all that is just party-directed talking points and personal attacks. They are doing anything they can to avoid talking about policy. The only thing they're looking for is some fancy way to say the word Ukraine, and the rest of them are just looking to pile on the non-establishment guy in the room. It's a freaking disaster. And I don't know, maybe I'm naive, but this is not what the GOP should look like, man. Because honestly, right now, it looks just like the wacky leftists on the internet say it looks, which is a mess. So if you ask me, man, these big debate forums, they're not helping anymore. I don't know if they ever did, but they just aren't effective. If you ask me, what is effective is one-on-one discussions, one-on-one debates, where you can actually tell what these people are about, or at least hear what they say they're about, what they say they stand for, and what they would actually do for us if we give them a damn job. I like that. And that's exactly what we should have. And that's what Christie and Vivek Ramaswamy were supposed to be doing with Brett Baier. It was probably going to be another Vivek beatdown, I'm sure, another dismantling by him. And honestly, kudos for Christie even wanting to get in the ring with the guy. Apparently it was even Christie's idea. I don't know, but that is very, very cool. But that said, the powers in the Republican Party saved him from humiliating himself again.
You're ducking these things. And let me tell you what's going to happen. You keep doing that, no one up here is going to call you Donald Trump anymore. We're going to call you Donald Duck.
Yeah, so as much as I want to see one-on-one debate, no one needs to see any more of that. I don't know who told him that was going to land or that was going to work, but that did not work. But anyway, so look what we have here. We got the RNC has shut it all down. And they felt so strongly about shutting it down that they said that if these two guys went on with their debate, they would both be banned from any future debates. So listen to what we have here. We've got the Republican National Committee so concerned with staying relevant that they're stopping candidates from having a policy discussion without their approval or their consent. What the absolute freaking hell is going on here? What are they worried about? Let me know in the comments what you think they're afraid of. I have some theories, but first, let's actually hear from Vivek. But guys, before I show this, thank you so much to everyone that's been subscribing, leaving great comments in the community. Really, really appreciate you guys. If you haven't, help us get our message out there. Hit the like button, comment, subscribe. Most importantly, share the channel. Listen to Vivek.
Well, I was supposed to spar with Christie in an open discussion, but the RNC didn't want to let that happen. Haven't had RNC debates that have succeeded. The first two have been disastrous messes, and we need a real debate in our party between the old neocon vision and a new vision of what it actually means to put America first, a pro-positive nationalistic vision for this country. I thought we were going to have it today. They got in the way and said that, no, that would eliminate me from the next debate if they let it happen. So I did a back-to-back segment instead with Brett Baer, which is going to air later tonight on his show at 6 o'clock. But let's just be honest about what's happening. I am a candidate whose ideas are a threat to the system. They did not plan for me to be in this race. Now, what did they do? They all got behind Ron DeSantis because there's supposed to be one person. Their top goal of the establishment is to take Donald Trump out. When that didn't work out, they're moving to their next shiny object, Nikki Haley, who has some serious issues as a candidate. I'll get to that later. Mark my words, next month, once that trend phased, once that flavor of the month is gone, it's going to be Glenn Youngkin the month after. This is how the broken game of super PAC puppet mastery in current politics works. I'll call on any super PAC supporting me to give their money back to the donors, saying I'm not going to show up at your events as long as Nikki Haley and Ron DeSantis and Tim Scott and everybody else does the same thing. We've got to be better than the other side. You know, they say that, hey, you couldn't participate in that sparring exchange with Christie. I didn't even want to do this. I was asked to do it. I said, sure, I'd do it. But the fact that they intervened and got in the way reminded me of exactly how they acted last week on the debate stage. They do not want the voters to hear my views, which they view as dangerous to their system. So when another super PAC establishment favored candidate has a debate on Fox, they're perfectly fine with that. But they're using these so-called debate rules to silence me. I'm not going to let them get away with it. Yes, there are other good people in this race, but they have been tainted by this broken system. I am running against that system, and we will not stop until we are done and we win.
Wow, man. So here's how naive I must be. So before watching that, my first thought was that they were actually trying to protect Chris Christie and his rhino establishment views from getting absolutely freaking dismantled by Vivek. And that's right, they are. But I hadn't actually gone so far in my mind to consider that they actually fear the guy. But really, when you think about it, that's got to be true, because all of their ridiculous attempts to paint the guy as a George Soros plant, which so many of us freaking believed and still believe, and their efforts to paint him, attach him to Big Pharma in some kind of negative way, which very, very funny comes from them when you consider like where all the PAC money comes from anyway, or a lot of it does at least. But yeah, so apparently all quote unquote debates have to be blessed by the RNC. And I guess the reason that the Ron DeSantis and Gavin Newsom showdown, which is supposed to happen, is okay, is that Gavin isn't a Republican or something like that. But anyway, all of this is really, really stupid. The fact that they want to control how these candidates talk about policy with you and me doesn't really make any sense. But I guess when you juxtapose that with the other side, the Democrats canceling debates altogether anyway, I guess these are just the democracy-loving times that we live in, and we'll see what happens. I wonder, if DeSantis is going to push for his debate with Trump. I wonder if they'll let that happen. I really don't know, because here's what's becoming clear to me. It's becoming clear to me that the Republican establishment fears, the only thing they fear more than Joe Biden is Donald Trump. And I don't think they'll ever let that debate happen. But anyway, or if they know they can fix it, give Ronnie all the questions, who knows. But anyway, that's just my take, guys. Let me know yours in the comments. If you haven't already, please make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Most importantly, share the channel. We'll see you in the next one.